I'm going to share two different news stories, and I would like you to tell me why you think it is that I am putting two initially very disparate seeming stories up side by side in the same video. The first one is dated April 9th. It's entitled Lawmaker Blasts Trump Billing Taxpayers $30 million for his golf trips. I mean, if we're going to talk about efficiency, Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett called out the president's pricey golf trips during a DOJ subcommittee hearing on Tuesday, back in April, saying we're not going to get anything in return for that. Again, this is as of a month ago. Trump had already spent 30 million taxpayer dollars on golfing. In less than 100 days in office, he spent $30 million of your hard-earned money to go golfing. According to the Huffington Post, Trump can spend as much as $4.2 million of taxpayer money on one of his many golf weekends. As of Friday, April 4th, Trump had spent 27% of his days in office golfing. Again, this was a month ago, so he's spent even more of our taxpayer money since. But back in April, when he had spent $30 million, that was equivalent to the annual salary of 280 federal workers. He fired 280 federal workers so he could play golf. Let's presume that he plays golf at a similar rate the rest of this year and throughout his 4-year term, if he lasts that long. That would equal Trump spending at least $480 million of your hard-earned money to play golf. That is the equivalent of 4,480 federal workers' annual salary. How do all you Trump voters feel about that? What's that fiscal responsibility? What's that cutting waste that's happening? Sure, you'll move the goalposts somehow to justify it, but let me read this other story. This is from yesterday in Mother Jones. By the way, Mother Jones doing consistently great reporting. I love that their tagline is, get your news from a source that's not owned and controlled by the oligarchs. So this piece is actually a collaboration with Wired magazine, also doing great work right now. It's by Molly Taft, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to cite from it, and you'll get the idea. You'll understand why it is that I'm reading this story after that first one. The piece is entitled, FEMA will no longer go door to door to assist disaster victims. The move, says one agency worker, will, quote, severely hamper our ability to reach vulnerable people. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is making significant changes to how it will respond to disasters on the ground this season, including ending federal door-to-door canvassing of survivors in disaster areas. Keep in mind, Trump has denied FEMA money to Arkansas, to Kentucky, to North Carolina, when they have experienced massive flooding, tornadoes, significant loss of life and structures, homes, businesses. Trump has said, no, I don't care about y'all at all. You owe me your loyalty. I understand y'all are Republican states, but I'm not going to take care of you. I am not going to help American citizens in the wake of natural disasters. No. Trump has said he wants to do away with FEMA altogether, and let's remember that eliminating FEMA would take an act of Congress. He does not have the authority to do that. He said, and I quote, I say you don't need FEMA, you need a good state government. FEMA is a very expensive, in my opinion, mostly failed situation. That's what he said to Californians after he denied them FEMA money after the LA fires. Okay, back to the article in Mother Jones. A memo reviewed by Wired and dated May 2nd and addressed to regional FEMA leaders from Cameron Hamilton, a senior official performing the duties of the administrator. Whoever's keeping that list of collaborators with this regime who will face accountability in the post-Trump era, Cameron Hamilton, instructs program offices to take steps to implement 5 key reforms for the upcoming hurricane and wildfire seasons. The memo is entitled Prioritize Survivor Assistance at Fixed Facilities. FEMA will discontinue unaccompanied FEMA door-to-door canvassing to focus on survivor outreach and assistance at registration facilities in more targeted venues. So if you're trapped in your home in the wake of a natural disaster, if you are caught on your roof and everything around you is flooded, if hurricanes have toppled trees and destroyed roads and made it impossible for you to get out, FEMA will no longer be coming to help you. For years, FEMA has deployed staff to travel door to door in disaster areas, interacting directly with survivors in their homes to help make sure that people get the federal aid they have been entitled to. The FEMA workers themselves say stopping this program will, quote, severely hamper our ability to reach vulnerable people. Going door to door has usually focused on the most impacted and the most vulnerable communities, where there may be people who are elderly or with disabilities or lack transportation or are unable to reach disaster recovery centers. Remember when I said this regime is all about eugenics? Of course, they want to make it as difficult as possible for people with disabilities, for the elderly, for the poor to reach and access aid. Where's that list? Where's that list of names? Jeff Harborough, FEMA's Associate Administrator for the Office of External Affairs, told Wired Magazine in an email, door-to-door canvassing is another example of a wasteful and ineffective program. But spending $480 million on golfing is not wasteful. What would you rather see your taxpayer dollars spent on? What is the purpose of paying taxes? Is it to pay for the president to go golfing every weekend? Is it for Elon Musk to get $6 billion of your money and my money for SpaceX to attempt to create a mission to Mars? While we refuse to give aid to Americans on Earth who have been devastated by natural disasters? What is the point of us paying taxes? Is it for working class people to give their money so that the super rich can live in the lap of luxury? Or is it to provide necessary services for us, the American people? It is the poorest states in America, which overwhelmingly voted for Trump in this last election, unfortunately, who are going to get really, really screwed by any withdrawal of FEMA funds, of Trump's attempt to eliminate FEMA altogether. Think about where in the country is most likely to be impacted by hurricanes, by tornadoes, by flooding. Those states are more likely to experience a high level of poverty. Those states are more likely to be dependent on federal dollars for everything that they do. Those states are more likely to have a higher percentage of their population reliant on Medicaid and SNAP benefits, which the Republicans, they're ready to chop all of that. Trump wants the states to pay for disaster relief. Trump wants to take your federal tax dollars and put them in the pockets of billionaires and then say, states, it's up to you to come up with the funding to deal with disasters. And by the way, we're withdrawing billions of dollars of federal money that we would normally pour into the states. We're withdrawing all of that from you. So we know every state in America, you're now dealing with massive budget shortfalls. And the poorer states that, again, tend to go for Trump, they will be disproportionately impacted by all of this. So where are they supposed to get the money to deal with disasters? While Trump, at this pace, will have spent $480 million of your taxpayer money on golf trips, I want you to think about what our taxpayer dollars should be funding. What is the point of paying taxes? What is the point of our government? What is it that our government should be providing for us, the American people? I don't know about you, but I don't get any value out of Trump going golfing. I don't get any value out of Elon Musk getting billions of our money so that he can play at traveling to Mars. While Trump and the Republicans in the wealthiest nation on earth are saying we will not even take care of our own people in the wake of natural disasters.